a System 80 driver board from Jeremy in a black hole game, and you can see somebody has removed Q55 and repurposed it. That doesn't hurt anything. Those are coin counter solenoids, Q54, 55, and 56 on black hole, and a number of other System 80 games. So you can repurpose those and save a little bit of money trying to track down MPS U45s, which are not that easy to find these days. This driver board was a bit of a mess. The 2N3055 here was shorted. There's an MPS A13 and an MPS U45, and 6 other MPS U45s were not operating correctly. 5 or 6. 6 of them, yeah. So took a few trips back and forth to the game to get these working, but working they are. And now you can see that the playfield lamps are all illuminating, and that's the best way to tell. On this is my RoboWar, of course, and the System 80B game, but all of the lamp circuits are working. Let's put the game into test, and I'm going to skip past all the audits and go right to lamp test. Lamp test on 80B games is not great. It's better to check in attract mode because you have to wait around for the lamp to light. So nothing. So you can see when solenoid 4 came by and I said nothing, the reason solenoid 4 doesn't fire is because that driver board transistor at, what did I say, Q56 is missing since it was repurposed. So this driver board is good to go, and we'll get it back and I'll let the client know which of these transistors failed. It was Q55 that's been repurposed. And Q55 drives solenoid 4 on RoboWar. I'll let the client know which of the transistors I had to change out, and then he can check those out on his black hole. So let's get to the MPU. Here's the black hole MPU board, and I've got a Spider-Man ROM installed into it right now. I added the slam switch mod, and one of the 7448s was not driving the B segment on players 3 and 4, so I've corrected that. We've cleaned up some alkaline corrosion by using the Dallas Maxim 1811 equivalent reset generator and scraping the rest of the no longer necessary parts, adding a few jumpers. I've added a 3K pull-up resistor to the read-write line on the back of this connector, so you don't need the daughter card any longer. So let's boot it up with my remote power switch. And the displays are operating, and we are in attract mode. So let's put it into test. Skip to test 16, and you'll hear the relay fire 3 times. The third one's the coin door relay, and then it will enter a lamp test mode with all the lamps firing. Not a surprise here, this is my known working driver board. Next test is coil test. Working correctly, again, not a surprise. Switch test, and it should show 99. Now I'm going to go through column 1, except for the last switch, which is the advanced test switch. And I know that it's working. So there's column 1 and row 1, advanced test switch, and this is display test. And what it was doing is that segment B, which is the second one here, was not lighting at all on players 3 and 4. So we've got that working. It's important that the 1s are working because those are driven differently than every other digit on these displays. So I'm going to let it get to 3 and then we'll move on. All right, so everything's working properly. Let's go to test 19's display. Sorry, let's go to 20, which is memory test. And it should come up 99, and it does. So this MPU is working perfectly. I'm going to install NVRAM into it and also update the ROM. It came in with Black Hole -2 or /2 ROM, and that version of the ROM has a bug in it where balls can get trapped down in the cellar forever. Thanks for sending these. The last 2 things to test in this Black Hole board set is the always problematic speech and sound board. Turns out this one's just fine. And for the first time ever, I've had to repair one of these. It's the special power supply for the speech and sound board. And on this board, CR2 had failed, and it creates a negative 12 volts, or 12 volts, I forgot which. And it was causing a hum whenever the game was turned on. So let's turn it on now. Hum's gone. Game is booting. And it's booted, and I've played about 1 million games of Black Hole, so I know what it's supposed to sound like. There's the first correct sounds. All right. Let's see if I can defeat this one-handed. Oh! So good news, the SC01 on that board is working properly. And so are all the other sounds. So this completes that entire board set. I had already tested the power supply after rehabbing it, and we are good to go. Thanks again.